Okay, folks, welcome back. This is the ICT Mentorship Price Action Model number 1, Algorithmic Theory. All right, model number 1, Algorithmic Theory. Before we get into it, what is an algorithm? An algorithm is a set of instructions designed to perform a specific task and/or solve a problem. Now, you can take algorithmic theory and look at it through the lens of everyday life, like cooking, like the average recipe, that's an algorithm, or a list of instructions for teaching your child how to brush their teeth or wash their hands. And it could be taken to an extreme in terms of detail and used for computer programming. But the idea of algorithmic theory is a step-by-step approach to doing a task, a process, or problem solving. As an example, using everyday life, this is an example of an algorithm used in the form of a flowchart. Now, I'm not going to be breaking the models down into flowcharts. That's not going to be happening. But for the sake of simplifying and trying to show you what we're doing by taking some of the central tenets to the core content in this mentorship and creating price action models, they're used to give you a baseline or to inspire you to build upon them or to completely create your own with the core content. This algorithm is assuming that you found an old lamp. Okay, so you're going through some boxes, someone left some things that you inherited or whatever, and you open up the box and you found an old lamp. Okay, so the lamp is not on, obviously. In this example, we're assuming that the lamp is not on. So to problem solve this, or an algorithm, you ask yourself a question. Is the lamp plugged in? If the answer is yes, then the next thing is the bulb burnt? If the bulb's burnt, then you replace the bulb. Then you go to the step turning the lamp power switch on, and then does the lamp come on? Then enjoy the light that it gives you. If you check to see if the lamp is plugged in and it's no, then you plug the lamp in. Then you go to turning the power switch on, and does the lamp come on? If it's no, then you replace the lamp. So there's a process that you can go through that leads to an outcome. Trading is just like that. Okay, you have to have a recipe, you have to have key ingredients. What ingredients are they? Well, they're going to be your specific PD arrays that you have grown to trust, that you have an affinity for, and you don't necessarily need everything else that's available to you in this mentorship. As I mentioned many times in the past, I have already taught profitable trading in a simplistic manner with the Optimal Trade Entry on my YouTube channel. You can take what I've taught you in this mentorship and create very intricate and complex price action models and algorithms. You don't need that level of sophistication to be profitable, but it's available to those that are inclined to do so. Now, when considering what was shown to you in price action model number 1, I'm going to cover first the price action model number 1, bullish algorithmic theory. I'm of the opinion that a model or trade plan should be so simplified that it could be written on the back of a business card. And if you go through this with me step by step, you're going to see that it's very simplistic. It's a rule-based idea, and it's a step-by-step process. It's an if, then, or, and process. And by going through each individual question and answering a condition, it gives you the reason to pause or negate the idea or wait for more information or go to the next step in the algorithm or model. So for price action model number 1, bullish algorithmic theory, you're going to be looking to determine the previous highs in the past 20 trading days. Do not count Sundays. If institutional order flow is bullish and price has broken a swing high on the daily and price is not in a premium, if price is in a premium, there is no trade. And today is Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, conditions are ideal. Or today is Thursday, and price has yet to trade up to a previous high. So notice what I'm giving you here. I'm giving you conditions that must be present. And if the condition is amplified, it gives you the details that must be met. Then look for a bullish optimal trade entry in the 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. local New York time window on a 5-minute chart. If today is Friday, no trade. If the 5-minute chart forms a bullish optimal trade entry between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. New York local time, then buy long at the 62% fib level plus 5 pips. If long trade is entered, use 5-minute fib OTE anchor low less 5 pips for initial stop loss order placement. So what am I saying there? If we're taking the long, the low that you're drawing your Fibonacci from for the optimal trade entry, that is your anchor low. So your stop will be 5 pips below that. If stopped out, no re-entry today. If trade rallies to optimal trade entry anchor high, take first partial off at that price level. So where we draw the Fibonacci from the low up to the swing high, that swing high is your anchor high. So if it trades up to that, that's where your first partial is taken. Then raise protective stop loss up to lock in 5 to 10 pips profit. Notice you're not moving your stop loss until your first partial is taken. Where's the first partial taken? The optimal trade entry anchor high. If trade rallies to previous high or Fibonacci extension number 2, take second partial off at that price level. If trade rallies to previous high or symmetrical swing extension, close balance of trade at this price level. Symmetrical swing extension is simply the same range that's used for the optimal trade entry range. If it doubles that, it's a measured move. You want to be completely closing your trade there. It can obviously go more than that, but as I taught in the model, it's better just to get out entirely there. If time of day is after 10 a.m., there is no trade. That's it. That's all there is for price action model number 1. Now, looking at it like this, with a step-by-step approach, looking at it like a recipe, you do this, you do that, you don't do this if this condition's there, or if it hasn't met that condition, and it gives you a step-by-step process. That's algorithmic theory. It's taking the ideas and the points of which make a condition up in the model and puts it in a trading plan format. So it's a step-by-step process in the order of importance and when it would be considered. This is what it looks like. This is a trading model fleshed out in a concise, very detailed manner. Now we're going to look at the price action model number 1 for a bearish algorithmic theory. As you might have already guessed, it's just everything reversed. Price action model number 1, bearish algorithmic theory. You're going to be determining the previous lows in the past 20 trading days. We do not count Sundays. If institutional order flow is bearish and price has broken a swing low on the daily and price is not in a discount. If price is in a discount, there is no trade. And today is Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Conditions are ideal. Or today is Thursday and price has yet to trade down to a previous low. Then look for a bearish optimal trade entry in the 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. window on a 5-minute chart. If today is Friday, there is no trade. If 5-minute chart forms a bearish optimal trade entry between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m., then sell short at the 62% fib level minus 5 pips. If short trade is entered, use 5-minute fib optimal trade entry anchor high plus 5 pips for the initial stop loss order placement. If stopped out, no re-entry today. If trade declines to optimal trade entry anchor low, take first partial off at that price level. Then lower protective stop loss down to lock in 5 to 10 pips profit. If trade declines to previous low or fib extension number 2, take second partial off at that price level. If trade declines to previous low or symmetrical swing extension, close balance of trade at this price level. If time of day is after 10 a.m., there is no trade. That's it. That's model number 1, fleshed out in a price action model from trading plan theory to algorithmic theory. That's a complete treatment of a trade idea or a specific way of looking at price and engaging with price, and then turning it into a step-by-step price action model, trading plan, and with the algorithmic theory here. When you do what? When don't you do other things? What conditions must be met for you to consider a trade? When is the trade taken? When is the trade not to be taken? This is a completely fleshed out price action model. It doesn't look all that impressive like this, but once you've gone through the core content and you understand the things that you were learning, then you learned the price action model presentation, then trading plan. Now you have the algorithmic theory. Everything is complete now for price action model number 1. So anyone that is familiar with the core content, the charter member price action model number 1, can look at this and see this is exactly what one would do to find consistency trading this model. And you can obviously see where it focuses its time and price, and its day of week heavy. It's basically primarily looking at Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday setups just in the New York open kill zone. But it allows and makes concession for Thursday if it has yet to trade up to a previous high when it's bullish, or trade down to a previous low when it's bearish. But ideally, you want to be taking the trades on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Friday, we don't take a trade. You have a complete price action model now. There's absolutely no reason why anyone that's a charter member now cannot go in and find consistency and setups using at least this price action model. I taught a very simple one in the beginning. This is one that I felt that should have been understood just by my YouTube channel and the content that I taught from 2010 on. With the Optimal Trade Entry, Pattern Recognition series, all of that, all of the, what I name now the Market Maker Primer course, which used to be Forexmas series. All of those videos brought together, someone that studied very diligently would have came up with a model very close to this. But now, because you're here and you're being mentored, you have it now in your hot little hands. So there's no excuse now. You have every reason to get out there in the coming weeks and months and years to be able to find setups that meet this criteria. And I can tell you that this is a very easy, very simple, but very consistent model. So now, since we have this, each week I'm going to share in the forum, in this price action model number 1, case studies where it offered the opportunity. You'll get one of them a week. It'll just be in a chart upload. It won't be a video, okay? It's just going to be a simple chart upload. And that way you can study it, and maybe you'll be a participant of that same setup in your demo account. But until I talk to you next time, good luck and good trading.